What do the Ohio State Buckeyes think of Tate Martell? Now, we know what you think of Tate Martell because we did a Tate Martell video earlier this camp, and it got a gazillion views. Okay? You love him. He's the fourth-string quarterback, but you love him. Bill Landis, Tim Bielik, Doug Maurice. What does the Ohio State team think of Tate Martell, do you believe, Tim Bielik?
I believe they think of him, as obviously, a guy coming into a college program. JT Barrett talked about how when he came to Ohio State, he thought he was really good at football, but when he got here and he saw what the difference in the college game was, he realized he wasn't as good as he thought he was. So, in a way, it's part of that acclimation from high school superstar, which Tate Martell was in some ways, to being a college quarterback, where now he's a fourth-string guy behind guys who have multiple years of experience in the system. But we've talked to players already earlier in the fall camp, and they've raved about, how elusive he is and what kind of playmaker he is. So, potential star, maybe. We're likely not going to see him for a while, but there's that potential there that's enticing that I think has most people out there pretty excited about what he can do.
Do you think Tate Martell thinks he's not as good as he thought, or do you think he thinks he's every bit as good as he thought?
I think Tate Martell thinks he's the best quarterback to ever walk through, pick a door in here. I think this about him, too. I think he is very different from everyone in that quarterback room, including JT Barrett, in a good way. And I think he might be the best playmaker they have at that position. And I wrote last year, before they played Oklahoma, about how Baker Mayfield plays like a crazy person, and he's the opposite of JT Barrett, who's very calculated and doesn't take risks. Tate Martell's a crazy person. Tate Martell will turn his back on the play, he'll spin around 9 times, and then he'll run 80 yards for a touchdown. It's easier to do that in high school, obviously, than it is to do it on this field or in a game in Ohio Stadium. But I just think people are seeing him in these scrimmages and these practices and seeing that he has a little something different. He's 5'11". Who knows if he can hold up against Division I defenses for a number of years? But I think right now he's different and exciting.
I think it is really good to have a year of JT Barrett rubbing off on Tate Martell. Yeah. I think you're not going to ever take the Tate Martell out of Tate Martell, but you want to Barrettize him a little bit, which could be really valuable for him. You don't want him to lose any of that confidence and any of that playmaking, but if you can just a little bit with him, I think that is going to help him in his career. And they're doing that. Like Ryan Day was talking about, they had Tate Martell tweeted a photo of himself like with his shirt off and his tattoos and stuff, and they put it up in the quarterback room, and all made fun of him. Like, that's what happens when you're a freshman. They try to knock that out of you a little bit. They're not going to knock it all out of him, but I think JT Barrett's a really good influence on Tate Martell. And we're going to talk about him for 4 years. I mean, like, you love him. What are we supposed to do? You love him.
I like him.
Tim, Bill, Doug, cleveland.com, watch and read.